Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I think everybody can shut the hell up for this intro. It's got very quiet. I have that power, dun dun dun. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we've got a really cool feature coming up. This guy, I think he probably travels farther than I do, which is such a trip because I seem to come so far just for this thing. And it's always fascinating to hear what topics he covers. In fact, I'm hoping he's going to read some things about Osama Bin Laden because we always have to have stuff like that if we're going to have a good feature especially. So, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together, scream like an idiot for Don Hargraves.
Okay. Yeah. Start with, I just turned 50 rather recently. This is what I came up with.
Wait till you get to be my age. Alright.
Get that. I'll give that that time. I'll take care of that when that comes due.
How are your knees?
Actually, my back's more the issue at the moment.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, I do have an issue. I do have pain in the knees, but it is a back issue. I just had that checked today, in fact.
Welcome to 50.
Anyway, 50. Fact is, I should be dead now. Whether through a newly developed alcohol habit, obesity, or overstaying my welcome where I live, I shouldn't even be breathing, having died in an apartment in Lansing instead of being in front of this microphone reading this sheet of paper. Wouldn't be the first time I made it somewhere I wasn't supposed to be. Probably should have died on the streets of Lansing at the age of 25 or Flint before my 21st birthday. No matter what, suffice it to say, you probably shouldn't be hearing my voice right now. So, now what? To be honest, I'm not sure. Seeing all you should I'd be dead now, but I never really thought out my life beyond my 50th birthday. So, yeah, something unprepared for a certain birthday milestone, stuck with celebrating it. I'm sure I've celebrated somehow. 50's still rare enough, given enough perspective. Well, and with all sorts of clocks ticking down, it makes sense to celebrate while you still can. Okay, here we go. Now a couple of poems from my 9/11 set of poetry, none of which were written right after 9/11. One was actually written before it. Here's one of them. This one is titled Osama Bin Laden is alive and well and working at a 7-Eleven late nights in Chicago. He works from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m., serving customers looking for a 12-pack of beer or some late-night munchies. At 1:45, he locks up the doors in front of the alcohol and tells the customers in his quiet, kindly voice, "Sorry, we're not allowed to sell beer after 2. Try a nearby bar, some stay open until 4. At 3:30, after he's done with mopping the floors and restocking the pot, a couple of women enter the store, pick out bottles of Jolt blueberry soda, and walk up to the counter. Osama says, "Women, when do you advertise your shame?" They reply, "Our shame is being with the non-believers. Only when this nation bows down to Allah shall we have the joy of hiding our shame." The women then update him on the happenings of the network and how the U.S. is dealing with the aftermath of the attacks. Osama replies with his plans and orders, and then with a final Allah Akbar, the women purchase the Jolt sodas and leave the store by 3:45. Osama then does some straightening of the store to make it ready for the morning commuters. Sometimes he wonders about the extent of his new plans. Subways in St. Louis, train tunnels in Colorado, dams walling off the Atchafalaya. Who would have thought there was more to the U.S. than New York, Los Angeles, and Washington, D.C.? He thinks about Chicago building that, if hit, would cause more damage than anything in New York, and smile at the man with enough time to wait.
Was that actually published in CC&D edition?
I think
that was one of the ones that was in it.
Yes,
yeah,
it was. This one was one of them,
Yep.
yes.
Awesome.
That was written December 2001. About 10 years later,
That was in the
Yes.
summer of '01 that you wrote that? You're serious?
Winter of December 22nd of '01.
Oh, okay.
That wasn't the one that was written before.
Okay, I was gonna say, you can't be the one that was before.
Anyway, 10 years later, we have the spectacle of Osama Bin Laden being shot down Abbottabad. Or whatever. Anyway, here's my response to that. A little bit quicker. Ignore the media circus. Here's the real story about the death of Osama Bin Laden. Just finished with another night of poetry and I was in the mood for something to drink, so I happened upon the 7-Eleven and walked inside. My first thought was to go to the fountain section, but I saw a couple of ladies walking to the counter, each with a blue Bolt raspberry can. I smiled knowing what I wanted, so I walked to the cooler and opened the door to reach for a can of said soda. "Women, why do you advertise your shame?" I heard the man at the counter ask. Then suddenly came the crash of busted glass and shouts of, "Get down on the floor! Get down on the floor!" I dropped, letting the can slide away, then felt the gun barrels on my head and back, and a shot rang out followed by the words, "Got the bastard in the left eye." I don't remember much after that. From what I remember, I know I'm glad I forgot most of it. Questions shouted at me point blank. Sitting in a chilly room without clothes are not memories one wishes to hold on to. Eventually, I was let go with a warning that I better not do anything funny. Needless to say, I drove straight home and drank water from the sink. You, of course, know the rest of the story is what the rest of the story is supposed to be. Found in a Pakistan military town, killed there and dumped into the sea. Well, I can tell you that story is false. Just don't give me any joke Blue Bolt raspberry pop. And now here's some more of the recent stuff. As it happens, I've been writing about. Here we go. I've written a few poems, oddly enough, with a gay tinge. Since it's close to Pride Week, I might as well read them. This one's entitled, "Why My Mother Loved Barry Mellow." After my parents' divorce was made final and Mom and us kids moved into a dumpy apartment, my mother went to the appliance store, remember those, and bought a record player and a couple of long play records, Fleetwood Mac's Rumors and Barry Mellow's Greatest Hits. Needless to say, my hatred was aimed at the quintet with hundreds of photos of themselves on the album sleeves. In love with themselves? A bit much, I would think. And as for Barry, the guy could sing, and having done choir in school, I can appreciate a good voice. His songs weren't half bad either. Much better than the Fleetwood Mac that was being burned through the vinyl. Or later on, the Journey and REO Speedwagon with their songs of everlasting love through tough times, ignored by the women who had turned their back on that everlasting love. And may I add, it's not called divorce rock for nothing. And to be honest, Barry seemed harmless. And that was probably the point. Rock was all about testosterone-fueled man boys trying to sound bigger than life. Sometimes the listener just wanted to sip sweet California wine at the bar while someone cooed sweet nothings to their ears. Multiply that by millions of newly lonely divorcees. There's plenty of room for someone able to sing multiple climaxes without threatening to force a real one up or down some orifice. There was enough of that in real life. Why watch it strut out on stage? And that, of course, is what gaydar was originally about. Ask all the females fans of Cole Porter, Tab Hunter, or Liberace. And while they cannot tell you why they loved whom they loved, at a deep level, they knew what it was. A crush safely beyond reach. Now that I think of it, there was one Barry Mellow song she hated. An interesting little ditty, went by the name of Copacabana. Can't help but wonder if there was something about that song that rubbed raw the wounds that the other songs smoothed over. This is about something that happened about 10, 11 years ago. Well, more like 5, 6 years ago now that I think about it. Was always puzzled about it. This is sort of what I came up with. How to piss off a tranny in 100 words or thereabouts. 1. when a fellow poet notices a painting of a penis in front of a vagina, refuse to consider that the painting's source may have been a selfie of the artist. 2. While talking about Flashdance the movie, freely criticize the multiple sexisms, its class politics, its unbelievability. Just be sure to skip the moment the ostensibly female dancer shows a package. 3. Poo-poo all talk about the joys of artificiality. As authenticity demands you embrace the real, and that real must sit on the surface. And finally, feel free to forgive yourself, as while gaydar is a thing, trainydar isn't. Yet. Interesting story about the Catholic Church. One time they forbade all women to sing in any venue. People needed high voices. So, to have been a what?
Snip, snip, snip.
To have been a castrato. Now, 1. 1588, Pope Sixtus V banned women from singing in any sort of public stage. Add to that the long-standing ban from singing in church choirs, and similarly there's an absence of high notes during performances. It was soon found that boys who had had their balls removed could sing higher for longer than even women, and those able to get past the bizarre appearance of the oversized man boys grew to love the high, sweet, young, well-trained voices that flew above the grunts and groans and muttering rumbles that came from those suffering from testosterone overdose. Eventually, the audience would tire of singing male freaks, preferring instead the eye candy of the female form to go along with the high notes in operas and concerts. 2. In the spring of 1979, I could feel the top of my vocal range dropping hard. I did not like this, nor did I like knowing that next autumn I would be confined to the aft staff with the middle C floating above my range. Now, imagine if it had been 1679 instead, and in Italy. I probably would have made my parents have those dangling orbs snipped off years before my voice could have begun its plummet. For no other reason than to hold on to my high, sweet voice of my youth. And if that failed, I'd have taken on holy orders and become a monk. After all, it's not like I removed those dangling balls of excess flesh myself. And as for sex, I would have dealt that when it came up, if it came up. Keyword, if.
Second here.
I think I'm one of my older. Okay, I think I'll do another one. This is sort of actually in response to someone doing an exercise. 5 words, write a poem inspired from those. That was actually a dour one. I remember someone was asking how were the poems, or did anyone write a happy poem? I asked, did Prideful count? Title of this one is September 10th, 2001. Only tourists look upward. We take our buildings for granted. Since before we were born, those towers have held our jobs and lives safe within their strong steel embrace. Smaller buildings fall from neglect. Our towers are well taken care of. We fear no evil 60 floors up, but from there, cause the world below to dance in ant-like chaos. One last poem, by the way. Congratulations to the Chicago Blackhawks. Third Stanley Cup in 6 years. 5 times in the finals and 7.
I was going to say, I heard somebody announcing after, he's like, wow, it's been 3 times in 6 years. Does that constitute a dynasty? And I was like, yeah, just, what?
And
Right?
in today's age, with salary cap limits and having, the guys having had to get rid of a bunch of folks after the 2010 and 2013,
Yeah.
I would say so.
It's awesome.
This starts from before then when, from somebody I picked up. October 16th, 2008 and after. I was off to pick up somebody at a dialysis center when I was told to go to the Horseshoe Casino instead. An $80 fare going to the south side of Burr Ridge. The man who got into the cab was white, a bit round and weeping over Dennis Savard's firing. A bit of news he got even before the sport radio stations. News that needed some immediate comforting from cigarettes, barbecue, potato chips, and Diet Mountain Dew. And as I drove him home, he spilled pop and chips around, vowing never to watch another hockey game again. Something told me to let him be messy as he needed to be. $20 above and beyond the fare proved my decision correct, or so I kept telling myself while vacuuming the mess from the van. What has happened since then? 3 Stanley Cups, 5 division finals, and a growing respect that has gone absolute as the team, once an afterthought to college sports, makes its case for being number 1 in a city that lionizes a gridiron championship from 30 years ago. And as for the guy I picked up at the Horseshoe Casino, I hope he saw all 3 championships happen. That champagne was spilled into and around a bowl of chips the first 2 times, and that the most recent championships saw him in the stadium, completed. Lifetime's fandom should not be cast aside because of a move proven correct. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I don't think it was loud enough. Give it up one more time, Jay!
But this is my job when I'm supposed to tell you about upcoming features. And of course I didn't bring the list with me, but I just look online. Because I told people, oh, if you don't know the day, look it up online. And I'm like, oh wait, I can get this now. Because 2 weeks from now, I think, is she looking over this side? 2 weeks from now, on July 8th, we've got another double feature night. We've got the song-spoken poet, poetry author Cotton Campbell. And also, we've got music from Dallas Nellis.
Yeah.
So this will be a cool evening. We get people like music, which is really cool because we've got singer-songwriter night following this. And that's the thing, 2 weeks after that, in 4 weeks, July 22nd, it's a double feature night. We've got poetry, aka James, this guy who goes by the name of Poetry. But the other guy is Ross Berman. The guy that hosts Singer-Songwriter Night is going to be the feature here. I saw him perform a set of things. Yeah, give it up for Ross Berman. Oh yeah, hell yeah. I heard him do a show at Chi-Con when I was there for doing things about Star Trek. He came in and he was doing some songs. I'm like, oh my God, that rocks so much. You've got to come and perform. And so we figured he's going to do the second feature. And I was thinking that because we don't know when we're going to be leaving, because I do sing, some of you might know that, and John's an awesome guitarist, we were going to come afterward before Singer-Songwriter Night starts. So we're going to do probably our last song, original and cover set after him and after the open mic is over. And I'm not even going to tell you about August or September because the whole schedule's there and you can always look it up online at www.chaoticarts.org/thecafe. And thank you all so very much for being here and I look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks. Thank you so very much.